web series, films, entertainment without sentiments, and it compels you thinking. Diminishing. Everything is so direct and crude to the line of crossing the line of obscenity. Even my friend, in an age in which the sadism holds the edge over sentiments, and that too in a popular entertainment, and a well-adjusted sex life is a goal in itself. It in itself, romance lies in a bleeding state, and in all these entertainment, women are infinitely the poor of poor for it. You look at all the social media or our channels of mass communications are overloaded with sex symbols. The heroes have actually become anti-heroes. Remember, all who have ever loved and been loved, they can recognize the great enduring truth in classics, love poetry. My friend, love does add a precious cooling effect on the seeing of eyes. Love adds grace to the virtue, and love bears it out even to the edge of the doom. My friend, too often the woman in our society is obliged to put down her natural feminine instincts. She is shaped by the times, and the shape is no longer gentle and womanly, these days at least. To be sure, the instinct to make a nest and mother the young is too powerful to be snuffed out together. But what of every woman's instinct for flirtation, for the intrigue and ceremonies of courtship? Why must the romance temper be proclaimed unstylish, not to say unsporting? It's difficult to ascribe to a single moment the demise of the romantic tradition in our society. Unbelievable. That's why people of they call it that 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Some golden period, golden times of the entertainment or the music or the songs. But somehow, romance is absolutely antecedent to love, I feel. Its death diminished each of us, and the society suffers. Indeed, we see the suffering all around us today in manners, morals, and saddest of all, in the minds and hearts of it, the young people. The sadism, the sadist attitude has taken over everything. Everybody is out to use words to denigrate others, to show others in a poor light, and sarcasm in the worst state. Earlier, you see, I'll quote an incident. They were nice, conventional in a club. When in winters the swimming pool is dried up actually, and people are in a bright after 10. When there's a bright sun, people are just lying and tanning themselves, enjoying this sun. I saw yesterday there was a nice conventional youngsters, tanned and uh, they were talking. They were talking of days of swimming and uh, playing tennis, you see, and how they used to watch the young girls, you see, in their white skirt, almost ghostly in gathering dusk. And suddenly a girl crossed them and she was walked past them. And I was on a listening distance of these youngsters' conversation. Everything changed. And these was the youngsters who could afford everything from a rich family. You see, suddenly they lay across her white skirts, almost ghostly in the gathering dusk. A lovely young girl, appearance of this young girl changed everything. Everything about her. You see, they start talking about her eyes, her hair, her skin, and everything. The guest like us sitting behind watched this progress with tender, if envious eyes. Clearly dazzled. It's just clearly dazzled the young boy. He rose to greet this vision floating out way. She walks in beauty like the night, he quoted. So somehow in the deep hearts, the romance is still alive in the people's mind, despite of all this exposure around him, like the shattering of the fine, rare glass. There was a burst of laughter. All everyone was laughter and very curiously looking at her. The boy blushed a dark red under his tan. The instinct of romance is alive, it cannot be dead. My friend, how wonderful if the boy like this could, on such a night, talk with some old lover's ghost. All, very nearly all the great men and women whose names belong to the ages, loved mind, heart, body, and of course the soul. This crude language is no substitute to such beautiful things, as they carried their love proudly as an army carried its banner. So much of grace was there. I will quote few English authors, what they have to say about it. Even the men who could, these are men who one would imagine incapable of sensitive or delicate passion. Nevertheless, they also loved. Jonathan Swift, sometime called the hangman of humanity, put down his cruel pen and wrote to his beloved Stella in Baby Talk. Now, among Swift's personal effects found after his death was a lock of hair wrapped in a small scrap of paper on which he had scribbled, "Only a woman's hair." Same, you see, Dr. Samuel Johnson, you heard this the name, was devoted to his wife, Tetty. And Tetty was, let me tell you, very unattractive lady, and many years his senior. That long after her death, she kept her wedding ring just near him all the time and cherished as a most prized possession. John Keats, the great English poet, when he was dying of tuberculosis, desperately lonely, still could write at the end, as the end neared in last few sentences, and he wrote, "I am certain of nothing but the holiness of the heart's affection and the truth of imagination." How romantic even the dying man could be. The heart, as another poet has said, is never given out of the bosom in vain. Of all unrequired loves, one of the most touching was that of William Hazlitt, the 18th century essayist, very renowned essayist, for a common lodging house girl called Sarah. He wrote that though she accepted Hazlitt's gift, Sarah mocked and deceived him. When finally she left him for another, his wound was deep and bitter. Still not long afterwards, he could write to her friend, "When I am dead, who will love her as I have done? When she is old, who will Look in her face and bless her the way I did. Heartbreak comes are generally followed by wisdom. Heartbreak comes and wisdom lingers, they say. Perfect love has its advantage. It leaves the possessor of it nothing further to desire. My friend, in a world that fails to honor the romantic traditions, that takes a let's be practical approach to courtship and marriage. Let me tell you, it's a woman who is more cruelly cut down. Without romance, a glory passes from her life, and these may steal into her room at night, a terrible loneliness, if not illness, if not uneasiness. My friend, दिल में जिनका निशान भी न रहा, क्यों ना चेहरों पर अब तो रंग खिले, अब तो खाली है रूह जज्बों से, अब भी क्यों हम तपाक से अब भी क्या हम तपाक से ना मिले. It's very important to keep that romance alive in your life. Otherwise, don't live. You just breathe. Thank you very much.